Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to talk about Swordmaster, who is likely the most powerful character for this new Immortal Weapons team. But remember, he's also going to be part of this Mighty Avengers, and as well having value as a respective Chaos team member for the Battle Worlds that do return here ultimately for the unlock of Century. So don't forget, there's going to be offers that's coming out for Swordmaster today, in addition to his Red Star opportunities with a promotional increase to get that drop rate for the 7 Red Stars. Without further ado, guys, we're going to get looking into his kit here, taking a look at, what upgrades make the most sense, because keep in mind, the Immortal Weapons are intended to be used in raids, but they do have a bit of value because in war explicitly, there's going to be some use cases for them to counter some of the meta teams. And on top of that, with him being able to get slotted in as a respective Mighty Avenger, he's also going to have a little bit of pivot opportunity there for theory crafting as well. And obviously in Cosmic Crucible is kind of where I'm excited to see where he can add a bit of value and extra juice as well. So let's get into it. Star Cutter basic ability, attacking the primary target for 120% piercing. He also does chain to 2 additional targets on top of that with piercing. Now, keep in mind, his counterattack does also break chains. So it's nice that if there's any kind of character using that on him, he can actually react like that and cancel it from the get-go, which is awesome. So you can see here, as we level this ability up, there's nothing crazy to really write home about, but there is going to be some defense down at the level 5 upgrade here, in addition to a maximum of 3 times for it to be stacked onto primary and secondary targets. Aside from that, I mean, level 6 is, some additional damage increase there, but there's nothing really to say about the T4 upgrade here. So I would probably stop at level 6. If you guys have T4 materials to spare, this is more of a luxury kind of boost in damage, especially if you want to maximize the output that he's providing for his respective team. Whirling Assault special ability, attacking all enemies for 120% piercing, and as well, this attack cannot be blocked, counterattacked, or dodged. Similar to the basic ability, you can see he's going to be placing defense down on his enemies, in addition to some other debuffs, including heal block in raids. This actually acts as a stun on the highest damage enemy, so really notable there to shut down obviously some key enemies if you're up against them in battle. As well, level 6 upgrade here. This is interesting. If this character has 3 or more immortal weapons, or that's where the Mighty Avenger theory crafting opportunities can come in. He's going to be reducing the duration of immunity and safeguard by 2 on all enemies. And I love the fact that this also applies outside of the raid game mode. But as you can see in raids, he's also going to be reducing the duration of all positive by 2 on all enemies as well. So it really just depends on the mechanic here. Obviously, outside of raids, it's dependent on who's going to be situational for him from a team perspective. But aside from that, in raids, he's going to be operating as intended, which is awesome to see. Finally, with the upgrade here for T4 is required, he's going to be applying trauma for 2 turns to all enemies. And I love the fact that this also applies outside of the raid game mode. So goes without saying, this is a highly recommend upgrade, just because that trauma ensures those debuffs stick around and can't be removed as well. Pretty massive. We have Omni Slash ultimate ability, so attacking the primary target for piercing damage, but in raids it also deals double damage, and it also cannot be blocked or dodged. Defense down once again, ensuring that there's maximal output on the damage, but as well, he's going to have up to a maximum of 3 bonus attacks for 100% piercing. So this damage is going to be exponential as you stack this up. As you can see, additional bonus attacks right there. He's also going to be inflicting once again another stun to the primary target, but on kill, he also does apply stun to adjacent targets. So this is a really unique mechanic. So you really want to be focusing in on the enemies, especially if you can get a kill on that. You're going to be able to actually apply it to everyone around him, which is pretty massive. Clears barrier on all enemies in addition to bonus attack 3 times once again, so giving you that higher success rate of obviously getting the stun and getting it to spread across. And then finally, with the T4 upgrade here respectively, also applying a defense down up to a maximum of 3 times, in addition to a maximal boost here of 100% piercing once again to the primary target. So damage across the board, which I absolutely love to see here, because he's going to be doing a lot of work in that respect. So Omni Slash ultimate ability, Whirling Assault special. I mean, these are looking like absolute must upgrades to maximize the damage that Swordmaster is going to be bringing to the table here. And then finally, last but not least here, descendant of Fushi. I hope I'm saying that right. When an enemy with defense down is attacked, there's a 50% chance actually to generate ability energy for himself and immortal weapon allies. In raids, however, it's always guaranteed that he's going to be generating ability energy to himself and all immortal allies. So in other words, basically less of a likelihood, obviously, outside of the raid game mode, which is typically what we would see, but there's still that chance, which you never know, could obviously shift the tide of battle there. When an enemy with defense down is attacked, he's also going to be healing himself and immortal weapon allies by 5% of his max HP. So having him statistically higher is going to help with that heal. But remember, each and every one of his abilities applies defense down. So that means every time he's going to have that opportunity to actually provide a self-sustaining heal for his allies as well. Lowering the armor chance here by 25% of enemies with stun. In raids, this always lowers by 100% with enemies with stun instead. So obviously benefiting largely in raids, but it can still happen. As well, enemies cannot gain offense up. And as well, lastly, the on spawn, he is going to be also providing a bit of supportive capabilities in the way of a safeguard to himself and all immortal weapon allies. And once again, I love that this does not apply just in raid. So he does a bit of everything, honestly. In terms of actually being the main damage dealer and brawler, I mean, all of these upgrades really make sense to maximize his damage, but I love that he can, inflict trauma. He can provide a bit of healing and sustain with his attacks, defense down across the board, safeguard to protect his team's buffs. So yeah, he's going to be a very, very important character for this team, and obviously also able to generate ability energy for the rest of the team as well. So without question, he's going to be the most important character. And for that reason, guys, you definitely want to focus on building him. Remember, if you missed my past video, though, we are in a bit of an interesting dynamic right now with our resource management, because nowadays it doesn't really make sense to use power cores for Swordmaster, especially given that leaderboard events have been really circled around how much coring you could do for these events. So I definitely would not recommend coring for him. But the moment he appears in the sigil store, I'm definitely going to be building him up and farming him as soon as I can. Hopefully there's going to be some more free-to-play events in the future to obviously add more shards of him. But in the meantime, remember, it's going to be important to build this team up because we need them in raids. Lastly, I do want to touch on his ISO-8 here, because we already saw across the board with his special and ultimate, they really focus on piercing and maximizing damage. So I think it's really obvious right now. I think he has to be an ISO-8 raider. I could potentially see him being a striker later on if you just want him to get some additional strikes and applying defense down, but he already does that with his special and ultimate as well, so I don't think that makes a whole ton of sense. I think the raider is going to allow him to maximize his damage output as a whole, and then that's going to allow us the opportunity here to obviously take advantage of his strengths, which is dealing damage, but as well providing those bit of support and capabilities for the rest of the team there. So there you guys have it. I'm going to be building him up when I can once he's added into the sigil store. But in the meantime, guys, don't forget, open those orbs for the easy 7 red on him. In the meantime, I'll keep you guys up to date once we hear more about how we can get more shards of him, hopefully in the future, sooner rather than later. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.